Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and you thought the spoilers were done? Oh no! Phyrexia All Will Be One has a Commander set and a Jumpstart set, if I'm not mistaken, coming out at the same time. Now, I could have sworn that the last couple marketing research surveys that they gave to the community resulted in them hearing loud and clear that we want less products. Oh well, let's jump into it, because honestly, that's all people are playing anymore is Commander. So we've got Chisgoria, Forge Tyrant. So it's a 9-cost triple red, 5/4 legendary creature, dragon. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. You've all been pronouncing it wrong your entire life, but you probably also say ridiculous instead of ridiculous. And that's ridiculous. So it has affinity for artifacts, which if you're playing affinity for artifacts in a commander group, just stop. Flying haste, and when it attacks, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast an artifact spell from among them this turn. If you do, it has affinity for artifacts. Oh, that could be abused. This is like a red artifact glass cannon, just weird commander. There's nothing good or interesting about this card. It's just badness. Next up, Clever Concealment. Oh yes, get 'em. It's 4-cost double white instant with Convoke, so you can tap any creatures to pay for the generic, or if they're white creatures, to pay for the white. So you can actually cast this for free, making this huge in Commander. Any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. Oh, they don't lose their counters, they don't lose their auras, they're just gone until your next upkeep. Wow. This is an insanely good card. See, this is the kind of stuff where I wouldn't say, ooh, rush out and give WOTC money. Nah, buy the single, Wait a week and just buy the dang card. Next up, Contaminant Grafter. It's a 4-cost green 5/5 creature, Phyrexian Druid. Trample Toxic 1. Oh, that doesn't have a place in Commander. And whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to one or more players, proliferate. And then Corrupted. If they have 3 or more poison counters, draw a card at the beginning of your end step. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So it's Landfall Toxic Pseudo-Infect Corrupted Phyrexian Tribal. Like, you're not even just going to get kicked out of your play group, you're going to get shot if you play this. Next up, Geth's Summons. It's a 4-cost double black sorcery. Remember, they're really pushing mono with this, even though I do believe the commander decks for this, at least the ones that I saw, were not mono. But, okay. Sorcery, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then Corrupted, 3 or more poison counters for each opponent who has Corrupted, by the way. As you cast a spell, put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. What? Miniature, like, Rise of the Dark Realms? This is so stupidly overpowered, but it only works with Corrupted, which brings it right back down to earth. But if you have it, my gosh. But if you're playing multiplayer, all the resurrected creatures in the world are not going to stop them from ganging up on you once they find out that you're playing poison counters, okay? Next up, Glimmer Lens. It's a 2-cost white artifact equipment. It has for Mirrodin, which means when it comes out, it brings out a 2/2 red rebel creature token. What does that do to the color identity? I have no idea. And then whenever equipped creature and at least one other creature attack, draw a card and equip 2. It's no Sword of the Animist, but it's good. Next up, Gliss's Retriever. Not quite as adorable as a golden retriever, but if you pay 6, you get a 6/6 Phyrexian Beast. With Haste Toxic 3, it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Oh boy, these are some gems. Then Corrupted. When it dies, exile it. When you do, return up to X target cards from your graveyard to your hand, where X is the number of opponents who have 3 or more poison counters. It should have been called Multi-Corrupted or Mega Corrupted. Next up, Glistening Sphere. Oh, okay, this is colorless. 3-cost artifact, and it enters the battlefield tapped, then when it enters the battlefield, proliferate, and then you can tap it, add 1 mana of any color, and then Corrupted, which, okay, that's, if you just ignore that, because who would that apply to? Okay, I'll read it. Add 3 mana of any 1 color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Okay, we'll ignore that. Is it a good mana rock by itself? I'm going to say yes in almost any commander deck. I mean, if you know you don't use counters, okay. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, there's a lot for 2, but, like, this is pretty good. I don't know, 1 and done. I wouldn't say it's an auto-include. Next up, Gold Warden's Gambit. It's a 6 cost. I know how to do math. Sorcery and red, affinity for equipment specifically, and create 5 2/2 red rebel creature tokens. They gain haste until end of turn. For each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Ho, never-ending story 3 confirmed. In keeping with the Irish tradition, I now have to put up a picture of Big Floppa. Look, I don't make the rules. The leprechauns do. Next up, Hexplate Wallbreaker. It's 5 cost, double red artifact equipment for Mirrodin. You know what it does. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and equip 4, but whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase this turn, untap each attacking creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. I hate that ability. It's confusing, stupid, and annoying. I would not play this. I don't think the power level's there, honestly, for Commander. Oh, this one's in a different language. Oh, bueno. Oh, thank God I have an English version. That's good, because I actually couldn't find a translation besides this. I had to just Google the name anyway. It's Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa. Now, in Portuguese, it was Descendente. Descendant. And people are tripping, but this is Scion. So luckily, it's just Atraxa's Toyota. So, triple cost, white, black, green, legendary creature, Phyrexian Angel, 2/5, flying, vigilance, toxic 2, corrupted at the beginning of your end step. Each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters exiles the top card of the library face down. You may look at those and play those cards. That would be so tedious in multiplayer. You may look at and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though they were mana of any color to cast those spells. I found it the most literally and figuratively toxic commander that you can possibly run. Well, next up I'm throwing in Urtet, Remnant of Memnarch. Now, okay, they came out and said that this was totally what they intended to do. Don't worry, guys, it's not a misprint. But he's 1 rarity in one pack and 1 rarity in another, I guess. Great. He's in like the set booster or something. People are like, well, he's a mythic on 1. And they're like, no, we meant to do that. Sure you did. Anyway, it's a 3 cost 2/2 legendary creature, artifact mirror, and whenever you cast a mirror spell, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token, because of course it's Memnarch, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, untap each mirror you control, and then if you pay 1 of each color and tap it, put 3 1/1 counters on each mirror you control, each activate only during your turn. Ho ho ho! So you can still do it at an instant speed, just not on their turn. Okay, is Mirror Tribal a thing? We haven't seen them in a while. I actually kind of want to play that. Next up, Lux Artillery. It's a 4 cost artifact. Whenever you cast an artifact creature spell, it gains Sunburst, which is it enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. And at the beginning of your end step, if there are 30 or more counters among artifacts you control, and creatures you control, Lux Artillery, because duh, the name, deals 10 damage to each opponent. Each opponent! For that artifact wall turtle deck. Okay. I kind of hate this and I kind of love it. I don't know. It's probably perfect for Commander then. And finally, the last one I got time for today is Tangleweave Armor. It's a 4 cost double green artifact equipment living weapon. So that means it brings out a 0/0 black Phyrexian germ creature token, which was like the original for Mirrodin, kinda. And then attach this to it for free, otherwise it's equipped 4, but equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest mana value among your commanders. It's weirdly specific, and I feel like for 4, even with the auto-equip, there are better cards than this. I mean, they're just better vanilla creatures than this. But it's definitely weird and quirky. I mean, hey, if you want to play it. Okay, so watch for more spoilers. The other half of these get really wild. So I want to save that for later. Also, my potatoes are done. That's why I'm actually leaving. But hey, if you watch this far into the video, I will give you a little hint. There's a secret link to a secret video on a secret channel in the description. Bye, guys.